everyone, HonestHughie here. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. And I'm going to do a review on a movie that I've just got through watching last week called Monster Summer. And it's a movie starring Mel Gibson and it's directed by David Henry. And I'm just going to go over like the basics of the story first. So it's pretty much about some children start going missing in this town in America. And they're coming back, but it's like they've got something missing. They're not themselves. They've got like dark eyes and it's like they've been drained of the soul. And it's pretty much about this young lad who goes out to investigate it. And it starts off like it's going to be a group of friends, but it's just him who's investigating the ongoings and pretty much trying to convince the town that something's not right. And he meets Mel Gibson and it's a bond between them two. I'm just going to jump into what I liked about the movie, really. And obviously everything's not what it seems. Like you can see certain things coming. It's not subtle with what it's about. So I could actually say what it's about, because it's not really hidden. Like, you know what the main monster is. And it's just one monster. We know what it is. I can say, because it's not really a spoiler, but I might leave it. I won't mention it just yet. I will have to mention it near the end of the video because I want to go over what I liked about it. But I have to say, the first things first, the acting of this was amazing. The acting to the story was really intriguing as well. And I was buying that Mel Gibson and our main protagonist actually would sort of not hang out together, but actually would be investigating this together, because Mel Gibson's very self-aware in this movie. So he says, like, he's pretty much, what happens is, I'll tell you, because not really a spoiler, at the beginning, there's something about him, because he lives alone, and there's rumours going around that he's just a creepy guy who's done, like, messed up stuff. So these group of young lads and a girl go in to, like, investigate. It's kind of like a Goonies. It's like a young Goosebumpsy Goonies movie. Oh, honestly, it's really good. And anyway, he goes in and they get spooked by him. So he leaves his backpack, and that's how Mel Gibson finds the young lad, because he forgot, our main protagonist forget his backpack there, and he leaves outside his school because our young protagonist wants to be a writer. He wants to get famous in the journal, and there's a guy in it who you recognise, the head, well, I'll say mayor, but he's not the mayor. He's the head of the journal. He's like a head journalist at the newspaper, and he's in charge of what the town knows about and stuff, and you'll know when you see him. Paul Mart, Mall Cop, there we go. Kings and Queens, there. How can I forget that? Kings and Queens is out of. And I have to say, he's good too in this. He's not in it much, but when he's in it, it's good. Although I will say one thing, when you watch the movie, the way he eats that egg, my God, he demolishes that egg. Like, he just, you'll know when you see the scene. But it's great, to be honest with you. To be honest, the main bit I really liked was how he connected with Mel Gibson's character. Like I said, Mel Gibson's character is very self-aware in this movie. The whole movie is self-aware, which is what makes it work. Mel Gibson and the main protagonist, you're buying a bond. Again, he says, oh, you know, the creepy old man from the house hanging around with a lad, people are going to be talking, I best not be around long. But it's pretty much, he says that because he wants to help him investigate with the kids vanishing and coming back not quite right. Mel Gibson's a realistic look on it, so he's thinking, oh, it's just somebody abducting them and then, you know, bringing them back. And he's not quite believing what this young lad's saying, but our main protagonist knows it's more than that, because his friend gets abducted and comes back, and they start talking to him at the beginning, and something's not right. Like I say, you know, his soul's missing. It's not there. He's completely, like, dead inside. And to be honest with you, it's done really well. And what it leads up to, we know what it is. I knew what it was straight away. And it's not really subtle because it shows you it. So, but before I get into what I really liked about the movie, obviously I've explained a bit. I'll explain a little tiny bit of, not a bad thing, but something that you could not like about the movie. It's a slow burn. Stuff happens, but it's slow. It's not like full wave jump scares, and it's got some tension scenes, but it's not really. There's a bit where, not that nothing happens, because I'm interested in the story, I want to know where it goes, but there was a little bit midway through and I thought they were like investigating it. You knew what it was because it shows it like midway through, a massive hint, and people are still denying it. Like his main friends are still denying what it is, his main two friends, and I'm just there thinking like, you know. And then something happens later on in the movie to one of his main friends, and he literally comes face to face with this monster and still denies it in front of the other one doubting him. And that's when I was like, it's still a great movie, but I was a bit like, what? But apart from that, the bond, again, the bit I really liked was Mel Gibson and our main protagonist. The bond between them two was just really good. Quite heartwarming, to be honest with you, because this isn't a spoiler, I'll let you know. The main protagonist, his father died, and Mel Gibson had, obviously we know, had a family. His son got, I won't say what happened to his son, because it's a good scene when he explains it himself. But let's just say his son's not there no more. It doesn't quite say if his son's alive or not, but it's hinted that his son is dead once you realise what this monster is. It's a massive hint that, yeah, he's dead, which is what I'm going to get into at the end of this video. But really, the bond between them two was amazing. I felt like it hit the nail. Like, very self-aware, but it was very nice. It didn't come across creepy, because you have to be careful with these movies, because it's characters playing kids. Like, he was 14, and Mel Gibson's like 50s, 60s, an old man. You know, he walked around in this movie with like a limp, and I said, I watched it with the missus, and I was like, is that a legit like limp? Because he's old now and he doesn't really care, Mel Gibson. Is that legit him limping, or is it part of the movie? And I just, again, because you could look and go, oh, it's you know, a bit creepy, you know, because the lads go around his house, because they're both investigating. So the young lad going around his house and all that. Nah, it's actually done really well. It's done that buying it, because it's quite like one of them things where you know that he's just there to help him, even if it's just to talk to like another father figure. So there's no worries from the mum's side. That's something that the movie did lack a little bit of, was the mum questioning where he was. Because obviously he was going around Mel Gibson's quite a lot. Was the mum actually talking to Mel Gibson's character? Doesn't happen in the movie. That would have been a good scene to have added. Just a bit more character building on his mum and Mel Gibson's character. I think I know why, because they didn't want to like throw in the traditional them two getting together, but it just would have been nice for his mum to sort of have a, even if it's a brief conversation, just going, oh, why's my son going around yours a lot, or something like a throwaway line like, oh, it's nice to see you bonding with my son. It's nice to know that he you know, you can see that you're not just because they thought he was a creepy guy at the beginning. And it's nice to know that you're actually just a normal guy, just as, you know, a sad, lonely old man who just needs some company, really. And it's a really, like I say, again, I'm going to say it, I've said it once, but it's a good movie. It's got its little bit flaws, but to be honest with you, I really liked it, because I'm a sucker for a good monster movie. I will say one thing with it, it's a 12A. And at first, you're going to be confused why. Because this isn't spoiling it, but there's no deaths in the movie. Because the kids don't die, they come back, but with the soul missing. That's not a spoiler, you see it a mile off. You can tell by the eyes and everything, you can tell. And it's just, it's works really well, to be honest. Because it could have gone down to 15 and did it where the kids were dying, were getting killed by the monster. I nearly said what it was then. But since I nearly said what it was, I'm going to delve into what the monster is. It's not a spoiler. What I'll do is, actually no, I'll wrap it up with, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And if you don't want to know what the monster is, it's not a spoiler, me telling you what the monster is, because you can tell. It's not subtle. But just in case you want to go in there blind and you don't want to know, skip the video, pause the video now, because I'm going to tell you what the monster is. But it's not a spoiler. I will say what the bit I'm going to talk about isn't, because I have to say what I liked about the movie. So 3, 2, 1. It's a witch. I won't say who it is, but it's a witch movie. And my God, I was thinking 12 years, it's got to be a 12 years, it's got to be a PG. It's like the whole movie. Instead to get the souls done, and then there's a little bit where it's hinted that the kids don't, so some kids don't come back. But I was thinking, I'm going to find them. Near the end, my God, when the witch reveals itself, the design on the witch is where it was 12. It was actually quite scary near the end, like legit, like Goosebumps used to be, near the end where you see the massacre one. But this, like the design of the witch, my God, she was proper, like she was like a proper witch. Like she was quite like like the green, a bit like the one from Wizard of Oz. It was like that, but worse, like a proper witch when she revealed herself. And the kid even throws a glass of water on it. I know, a pan of water on her. Does nothing to her. And it's very hinty to it. It's very hint because it goes, oh, I'll get you and your little friends too. And I'm like, oh, I like these hints. And it's like I said, the design on her is mint, and it's very self-aware because you know it's a witch. Midway through the movie, you see that there's a snapped broom, and there's him and Mel Gibson find a snapped broom, and there's also, it's a bit like a witch but like a changeling in a way. I thought it was going to be a changeling because it takes disguises, but witches can do that. And it was showing. I'll let you know like the death bit of the movie, the sort of dark side of it, which was near the end. So like I say, it starts off quite light, but near the end it got really dark, because it didn't just hint, it flat out said that this witch, I won't say who it is, but the witch killed the children back in the day, would totally, like the whole soul, like would kill them. Whereas in this movie, she's just taking little bits of the soul. It's enough to numb them and make them totally gone. But it's like at the beginning, the main protagonist who gets his soul took at the beginning, he loves Reese's Pieces, like his food he loves, and he gives him food, he loves his friend, and he eats it, and he just doesn't, he spits it out and said the minging, because everything's gone, nothing will taste right, obviously no soul. But it's heavily hinted that loads of them died, because there's a load of shoes when they go in the witch's house, like kids' shoes and stuff, and you can tell that they died. And the main heavy bit of the movie is Mel Gibson's son. This is the bit I was going to mention, but I'll mention it now. Gets abducted, and it turns out, it doesn't quite flat out say this, but it's heavily hinted that it was the witch that took his son. But this was 40 years ago, no, 30 years ago, he says. No, wait, yeah, 30 years ago. And it's heavily implied, if not flat out, the witch killed his son. And his son was only like 5. Because we thought it was, oh no, I said 35 years, because we thought his son was going to pop up at the end. But no, it doesn't happen. It's not spoiling me saying that. You know what happened to his son in a way. It doesn't flat out say, it doesn't have to. And this is where it gets down a darker path near the end. Near the end it becomes like borderline 15, I'd say, especially with the design of the witch and how, like, it gets a bit goofy, some of the dialogue, but it's very, like, it gets to horror movie elements where you're like, this is darker than I expected it to be. And I think it would have benefited more from not going as dark near the end. It sort of throws the tone off a bit. Don't get me wrong, love the design, love the ending. That part of me, I think, if the other way around with the movie actually, would have benefited more. Not saying she had to kill them. It's nice to see the ending when they get, the souls back. It's lovely. But it would have been nice to have seen maybe more of the witch throughout the movie. We know there's a throw-off character that thinks the witch. And I thought that was fine. But I just think it needed a bit more to it to like, I was intrigued because I like witch movies. It is a proper witch movie too, like old school witch, like I say, Wizard of Oz witch. But it just would have been good to have seen, even if just a couple more abductions, because there's a lot of shoes at the end, and you don't see a lot of abductions throughout the movie. I think you only see about 3 or 4. including his friend. You see 4, yeah, 1. No, you see 3. You go back to the first one. So you only see 3 abductions, which I think is a bit weak. Should have saw a few kids get abducted and sort of, you know, if not half the kids in the town. Just to see him reunite with the parents would have been a nice little ending. You see it anyway with one of them. No, 2 of them. But it just would have been nice to have seen one of our main characters' group maybe get theirs took. I know at the beginning the group, but one of the other ones, and like I said, the only little flaw with the movie is how in denial one of his friends are. He flat out gets chased by the witch in the woods. He flat out face to face with the witch, and he saves him, his friend, and he still is like against what his friend's saying. And there comes a point where you're like, mate, please have to come on, be a friend. I get why, because he's denying it, but come on. Anyway, I'll end the video here. I just wanted to do a review on it because it's a mint movie, and if you've liked it, like I said, check it out because it's very much like the Goonies. And if you like this video, it's like adult Goosebumps, so to speak. And if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Like I said, I'm going to do a video every week now because why not? Right, I'll see you soon. Bye.